who is Councillor Humphries. Councillor Humphries.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Like most of my colleagues in this debate tonight, I've got a speech prepared, but before I get to that, I'd just like to respond to some of the things that we've heard from our colleagues opposite, Councillor Dickingham and Councillor White. And I don't know if any colleagues share with me a slight feeling of depression and find it rather revealing that the crux of all these arguments we get from the opposition are constantly the politics of envy and division in our communities, which is really absolutely not what the whole Nine Elms experience has been about. What we've achieved here in this borough is something that's come about by all stakeholders, all communities in the area working together to produce something that we're all proud of. And people that make points and try and turn around everything is that black and white issues, we have to be for this or against that. I find unutterably depressing that the level of debate and the level of discussion we can have on a really important issue when what's being done here by this administration is something that is a co-production, if you like. It is a partnership with all the stakeholders involved, and what we're celebrating in this motion is the success of that and how that's worked together for the whole community in the area. That's across the piece. We're not, you know, the arguments of, you know, you can't build £8.5 million luxury apartments, and I'm pleased Councillor Dickingham has friends in the construction industry who live that on the ground. I'm a construction worker, and so I know the realities of that. So I don't need lecturing about, you know, that Tories on this side of the House are so divorced from reality in ivory towers that we don't understand how the real world works. It's become a bit of an outstanding joke amongst colleagues and officers that I turn up to meetings brushing the big brick dust.
Please.
No.
Point of personal explanation, please.
Are you prepared to give way on that? Well, it's
the same, I dare say.
The point of, I was mentioned, and you were feeling very depressed. But and you mentioned some of the communities. I wonder if it's the waiting list of over 10,000 people in Wandsworth. Was that one of the communities that was joined in celebration
of this low affordable housing?
We don't want a speech. Thank you very much, Councillor White. I think you've made your point. Thank you.
I think that says everything that I was about to say myself, doesn't it, really? I really find it, the level of debate where we've got nuances and subtleties here, and what is trying to be achieved is something that will benefit all of Wandsworth. And it's a lesson that the opposition seem impossible to understand or learn, is that nothing comes from nothing. We have to work together, and we have to use all the resources we have from the private sector, public sector, everything working together. And that is what this is a celebration and an achievement of. And if you try to paint all developers to be, you know, black baddie nonsense, you know, the black-hatted cowboys that aren't going to do anything that's going to achieve any good anywhere. It's a nonsense. It's a nonsense. The world doesn't work like that. And what this council has achieved is working with partners, pushing developers hard. Yes, we're not in their pockets, as is the cliche that we've always had. You know, if I had a quid myself for every time as chair of planning that I've been told I'm in the pockets of the developers. Have you seen my house? You know, I'm not living in an £8.5 million apartment either, actually. So anyway, I've got that slightly off my chest now, so I'll go back to the level of the debate where I was starting off from. When I first arrived as a fresh-faced new councillor in 2010, yes, hard to believe, I know, but 11 years ago, not only myself, but many colleagues across this chamber could not have imagined how this part of the borough was going to change so dramatically. And what a transformation. There were sceptics, you know who you are, who said it would never happen, but just look at it now. Thanks to this Conservative administration, with its dogged determination and ambition, Wandsworth now has a whole new town centre. I'm not going to go on, I've lost loads of time on this now, but you know all the stats and all that kind of stuff there anyway. But we, on this side of the chamber, have for many years expressed our ambitions for the borough and our deep-seated aspirations for opportunities for our whole communities. And what better example than we had of what we've achieved in Battersea Nine Elms. I don't know how many colleagues have visited the area in recent months, but there's a palpable buzz in the air in this new place in town. I sat having Sunday lunch not long ago in Battersea Power Station Circus West Village, and there's a genuine sense of community. That switch from a huge building site to people coming and going about their lives is something that's a real, tangible thing now. And these new transport links will enable so many more people across the borough to enjoy and share in those events that are coming along. As Chair of Planning, I'm particularly proud of the role my committee and my officer team has played in helping to shape this new community. I'd like to take a moment to say thank you to officers who've worked so hard and tirelessly and enthusiastically to bring this project together. I've got lots of examples, but I'm going to skip all those because I'm on the yellow light already on that kind of thing. Our cultural aspirations, Councillor Sutter said. I was sitting down with Sir Hannah Guerrero from World Heartbeat Academy, and they are absolutely thrilled to be able to bring their offer to the whole gambit of communities in Wandsworth and in Battersea to share world-class leading events and inspirational workshops for people across our community, across every part of our community. Far indeed, this is not from the cliched image that some have tried to portray in this whole enterprise. Actually, it's not elitist and for foreign buyers only, but in fact it's a positive collaboration bringing benefits to one whole, united, rounded community with a place for everyone on that train that's pulling into a platform in those stations as we speak. I encourage all colleagues to vote for the motion.